You're listening to Living Beyond with Hope. Hey, that's me.
This podcast is meant to help you realize you're more than a label, and you too can create a life you love despite it. Each week, we bring you tips and inspiring messages to help you take the positive steps in your health that will allow you to live beyond. Now sit back, relax, meal prep, or take a walk as you dig into today's topic with your host, a gal living her life to the fullest with her type 1 diabetes, Hope Mangiafico.
What we are talking about today has to do with why progression is more important than perfection. This is something that's super valuable and important to me because I am quite the perfectionist, and I don't know about you, and I don't know how you feel about perfectionism, or if you're like, whatever, you just throw things out there. But I am a perfectionist, and progression, as you may know, it takes time, and a lot of us don't like waiting for the progress and waiting for things to happen, and who wants to wait? We're in a world of instant gratification, and we are always seeking ways to shortcut things and to basically cheat life. Sometimes that's how it feels. We're trying to cheat life, and we ain't doing that. Okay, so let me tell you, I have been gone for a while. And like I explained previously, I've been gone for a couple of months, and the reason that's been is improving my business as well as personal development. And I think that as I'm learning to learn from the best, learn from people that have been successful, whether that's in your career, in your life, in your goal setting, no matter what it is, you see people that you're like, I want that. I kind of want to be like that person, or I want my life to look that way. And we don't want to necessarily want someone else's life, but we're like, we should probably pick up some of those habits. It might help us become better, be better, live the life that we want to live. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, is I've been doing a lot of personal development. I have been into personal development for right at a year now, and it's completely changed my life. So personal development can look like seeking out advice from someone that's a step ahead of you. It can be listening to podcasts. It can be investing in yourself and in your life through academies, through online courses. That's totally my jam. I'm obsessed with online learning. It's really just finding something out there in the world that can help you become a better version of you in a way that is good for you to learn. So podcasts for audio learners? I didn't plan this ahead of time. Or online video, if you're really good with taking notes and seeing visuals, those kind of things are awesome. So personal development is my jam, and I want to help you realize it needs to be your jam too, and why it's so significant. So for me, my recent personal development journey has been related to finding a balanced life. I kind of focus on three things. I focus on kind of motivation, lifestyle things, and I focus on exercise, and I focus on nutrition. All those three things together are going to bring you success. They're going to allow you to be the best version of you. Pretty important, pretty big deal. But living that balanced life with those three things, and I'm telling you, it is these three things. If there is something that I learned when I decided to get my life together, it's that you have this balance between these three areas and you will thrive. But having a balance in these three areas does not happen overnight. The person you are right now, whether you're satisfied with who you are or you're unhappy, it didn't happen overnight. It happened with long-term and extended period of time of choices you've made. And that's where we're like, we wouldn't be perfect. But we have to realize, we have to appreciate the journey and realize that it's all about progression. That's what's so important. And you have to keep reminding yourself, this new you that you want to be. So if you want to be more than your diagnosis, be more than this label you put on yourself or your doctor put on you, you have to realize that you have to appreciate the journey. And if you have this thought process of negative thinking or being a failure, then to rid yourself of that's years of thinking. You have to take it day by day to see improvements. And that is so important to realize, like, okay, if I want life changes, this is how I approach it. And now this is super, super important, is habits. I have been learning about creating habits in the past, 4 or 5 months. And let me tell you, creating habits is no joke. It's not easy. So I've learned about like how significant habits are to allow me to start seeing this progress to reach my end goal. And I don't think we understand how significant habits are and how, again, they take time, but how they trigger actions that you desire. And so if there's a first step you can do after realizing like it's all about the journey, it's all about the progress, you got to start creating habits in your life that create the environment and help trigger the action that you desire to improve your life. So that's really important. I have to tell you that I already mentioned it once previously, but I'm a perfectionist. And as a leader of Hopeful Health, the Hopeful Health community, I want to help bring you as much success as possible. And that's also why I have been kind of disconnected, is I don't like to not help you thrive, help you be the best version of you. And when I felt like I wasn't doing my job in the way that I wanted to do it, I decided to be like, okay, I can't perfect this overnight. And as long as my people are still hanging tight, they're not leaving me, and it looks like everyone's still hanging in here, which makes me happy. Still like, Hope, where are you? Which is awesome. I can guarantee you that my learning process for this, to realize how important my personal progress is for myself and to help better serve you, will help you also learn about the progression and how to eventually reach that ultimate status that you desire for your life. Now, this is key, okay? If you really want to make progression from where you are right now, right this minute, right this very second, you've got to take baselines. You got to figure out what areas in your life are out of balance. Because we all have something out of balance. No matter if you're thriving in your business or you're thriving in your health. So say you have diabetes like me and your diabetes is in check. You're like, yo, I got this. I'm on point. There's something else missing. Maybe you're spending all this time in the kitchen preparing food and you're missing opportunities with your family, or you're saying no to your friends because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't eat out. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that's not a balanced life. So you got to find some baselines so you know where you're starting. And so I want you to think about where you stand in some areas of your life. So with your health, so where you stand with nutrition, where you stand with exercise, and where you stand if you have a diagnosis like diabetes or obesity, or something that you know if you change something in your life, it'll be improved and you'll feel better. So focusing on where you're at with health, focusing on where you're at with relationships, family, spouse, friends, any person that is near and dear to your heart, figuring out where you stand with that, and then figuring out where you are overall, how you feel about your overall happiness. We're not all happy all the time. I get it. Life happens. Yo, totally get that. But think about overall, each and every day, what makes you happy and what doesn't. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, ugh, this is terrible, 10 being like, my life is awesome, I'm the happiest being on the face of this planet. Figure out where you lie on that spectrum. So you got these baselines. This is where the big progression happens, so you get to the life you want. You got to focus on one area at a time. What? This is where I failed in the past. And this is where, again, I took time off so I can serve you better, because my life changes didn't happen overnight and they're still a work in progress. And it takes time because you do one thing at a time. If you're like, oh, my health status was a 3, my relationships were a 5, and my happiness is a 2, take the lowest scoring one and start working on it. But just one. And what you'll notice is they do end up being kind of like intertwined and related, but you've got to start with one, because if you try and increase all of them at once, you're going to feel like a failure. And then you're not going to have that life balance you're looking for. And most likely, if you're placing any labels in your life, or if you have a label that your doctor gave you, it's not going to be good, and it's going to be enhanced. And that ain't fun. No, none of us want that. So remember that. And most of all, if you are better than you were yesterday, so if you're better you than you were yesterday, you're off to being the best version of you and living your dream balance life. Super valuable information. Just think about yesterday. So when you're in this rut and you're like trying to make this progress and you're like stuck and you're frustrated, think about how you were yesterday. Is your attitude better? Is your treatment for your health better? If you have diabetes like myself, are you taking your medications on time? Are you checking your blood sugar more? If the answer is yes, hey, you're off to a pretty good start.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It means the world to me to be able to serve you and help you live beyond. If you found today's episode helpful or beneficial or share-worthy, I would love a review in iTunes. A review in iTunes allows me to know what was helpful and allows us together to continue to change lives and help other people live beyond their diagnosis or label. And if you did find this share-worthy or helpful, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. If you're on an Apple device, you can go to the podcast app or the iTunes store and type in Living Beyond with Hope, and there you can subscribe or listen to other episodes. When you subscribe, this allows you to know when there's a new podcast released. If you're on an Android device, no worries, I got you. All you have to do is download the Stitcher app and search for Living Beyond with Hope there and subscribe there. You can also go to www.livingbeyondwithhope.com if you would like to listen to the episode again, if you would like to see the show notes and any links that were mentioned in this episode. Today's episode was brought to you by my free balance planner for you. This planner is everything that I have learned over the past few years to help guide you in planning your life by design so that you can live to your full potential despite having a label on your life. If you'd like to learn more about what this is, all you have to do is go to www.mybalanceplan.com, and there you'll be able to see and get access to the videos and worksheets so that together we can plan your best life. I'm so excited to hear about your life of amazing success. And until next time, keep living beyond.